Most scary stories you hear online, you either believe them right away or you call bullshit and scroll on. But every once in a while, there are stories that are so absurd, so completely impossible, that even the people who lived through them didn't believe it at first. Even the police laughed until they saw the evidence with their own eyes. Tonight, I'm going to tell you 3 of those stories. 3 stories that sound 100% fake until you see what was actually found. And yes, all 3 are documented. Let's begin. Story 1. The man who called 911 from inside her walls. Seattle, Washington, November 2019. A 32-year-old woman named Jessica wakes up at exactly 3:17 a.m. to faint scratching sounds coming from inside her bedroom wall, right behind her headboard. She freezes, listens. It stops, then starts again. Slow, deliberate scratching, like fingernails dragging across drywall. She grabs her phone, turns on the flashlight. Nothing. She tries to go back to sleep, telling herself it's rats or the house settling. Then her phone rings. Unknown number. She answers, and a weak, hoarse male voice whispers, "Please, help me. I'm stuck inside your walls. Call 911. I can't breathe." Jessica screams, drops the phone, runs out of the room thinking it's the worst prank. But the scratching gets louder, almost frantic now. The same number calls back, and again and again. Finally, she calls the police herself, crying, saying someone is inside her house playing a sick joke. 2 officers arrive. They search every room, every closet, the attic, the crawl space. Nothing. One officer actually laughs and says, "Ma'am, I think you just had a nightmare." But Jessica insists they check the wall. They roll their eyes but grab a sledgehammer anyway. One swing, drywall collapses, and a grown man tumbles out, covered in dust and insulation, gasping for air. He had been living secretly inside her walls for over 4 months. He entered through an old heating vent in the basement, carved out a tiny crawl space room, stole food from her kitchen at night, and drilled tiny peepholes so he could watch her sleep. And the phone calls? He had stolen one of her old iPhones months earlier and kept it charged with a cable he ran through the walls. When police asked why, he said, quote, "I just wanted to be closer to her. She looked lonely." Jessica had never met him before in her life. The case is still public record, King County, Washington, under the name State v. Marcus Holloway. The 911 recordings were leaked years later, and if you listen, you can hear him whispering from inside the wall in the background while Jessica is on the line with the dispatcher. Story 2. The Hitchhiker Who Knew Too Much. Western Australia, 2008. A long-haul truck driver named Graham Henley is driving alone on the Eyre Highway, one of the loneliest roads in the world, around 2 a.m. He sees a man on the side of the road thumbing for a ride. Young guy, early 20s, pale, wearing a white t-shirt and jeans. Graham pulls over. He's done it 100 times. The guy gets in, doesn't say a word, just stares straight ahead. After 5 silent minutes, the hitchhiker turns and says in a completely calm voice, "You're going to crash in exactly 7 kilometers, and you're going to die tonight." Graham laughs nervously and says, "Mate, get out if you're gonna talk shit like that." The hitchhiker smiles and replies, "Check your dashcam. I'm already dead." Graham slams on the brakes, looks over. The passenger seat is empty. No door opened, no footprints in the dirt. Gone. Freaked out, he keeps driving, trying to calm down. Exactly 7 kilometers later, verified by police GPS, he falls asleep at the wheel, hits a tree, and dies instantly. When investigators reviewed the dashcam footage, the hitchhiker is clearly visible sitting in the passenger seat for 42 seconds, speaking, then vanishes mid-sentence from the recording. They ran the face through facial recognition. The kid died in a rollover on that exact stretch of highway in 1997, 11 years earlier. His name was Timothy McLean, same name as the Greyhound bus beheading victim a year later, which still confuses people to this day. Western Australia police still have the original unedited SD card locked in evidence. Multiple officers have confirmed it privately over the years. No CGI, no edits, just gone. Story 3. The Little Girl Who Drew Tomorrow. Northern Thailand, 1994. A 6-year-old girl named Nong Dao starts bringing home drawings from school that terrify her teachers. Plane crashing into 2 tall buildings with people jumping out of. A giant wave swallowing entire villages. Mushroom clouds over cities. Her parents think she's just a weird kid with a dark imagination. Fast forward to September 2001. 2 weeks before 9/11, she draws the New York skyline with 2 planes hitting the towers and writes 11/9/2001 at the bottom. Her parents still don't connect it. December 2004, she draws a massive wave destroying beach hotels. 3 weeks later, the Indian Ocean tsunami kills nearly 250,000 people. 2011, she draws a nuclear power plant melting down. Fukushima happens months later. And the very last drawing she ever showed anyone in late 2019, a cartoon bat wearing a crown flying out of a laboratory in Wuhan, China, with the year 2020 written in red crayon underneath. After that, she burned all her old drawings and has refused to speak about it for the last 25 years. Her original sketches are kept in a locked archive at Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok. Researchers from Japan and the US have studied them for decades, well, obvious reasons. She's 37 now and still won't talk. 3 stories that sound completely made up, but actually happened, and the evidence still exists today. If you've lived through something that sounds impossible, but you have proof, send it to timelessmysterystories@gmail.com. I read every single one. If this video gave you chills, subscribe. The next one is worse. See you soon.